We are in San Francisco this morning. Lyft reporting its strongest quarter ever. Rides and bookings jumped double digits, but revenue came in just short of estimates. We're going to talk about that and so much more that's going on in this industry. Right now, David Risher is here, Lyft CEO. It's very nice to see you. We saw your biggest competitor just yesterday, Dara, and I want to get into some of that as well. But let's talk about your earnings and also what you think this says to the degree you think you have a pulse of what's happening with the American consumer right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you said, we had our strongest quarter ever. And what that translates into is, not only billions of dollars of rides, but, tens of millions of riders, millions of drivers every single day, using us to get to work, to go to school, so on and so forth. We don't see any softness. So if people are looking for this as sort of in fact, for example, trips to the airport are actually up quarter over quarter, year on year. So, look, Lyft has become a part of millions of people's lives. We serve and connect millions of people every single day, and we do it super, super well. And so I think to a certain extent, look elsewhere if you're looking for weakness, because we're not seeing it.
One of the big announcements that you made recently is this partnership with Baidu.
Yeah.
And around autonomous vehicles.
Yep.
But outside of the United States, you've always talked about yourself as a domestic player.
Yeah.
What happened? What does this actually mean?
Sure. So, I mean, in a sense, it's a bigger story, right? When I took the job on about 2.5 years ago, we were losing money, we were losing share, and we were only in North America. Now we are making money, $993 million of cash, so, printing cash gaining share, highest as it's ever been, at least under my tenure. So that's all wonderful. Okay, so once you're in that position, the question is, what else can you do to take what you've done and go bigger? And we decided to go global. As you know, we acquired a company called FreeNow, closed last week. With that, we become a lot more interesting to global partners. And Baidu, the world's largest autonomous vehicle, I think they've got 11 million rides, without a driver. We've been in discussions with those guys, and they said, you know what, let's go to Europe together. Let's bring self-driving cars.
You're watching all the self-driving guys.
Yeah.
And I want to know, stack rank it right now. You got Waymo, Tesla. I don't know what you think of the experiment in Austin. Do you think that's going well?
Too early and small to say, truthfully.
Too early? Really?
Yeah, we don't see a business impact. I mean, they have a small number of cars on the road. Who knows? They, among others, will be. Look, there are going to be a lot of winners in the self-driving space. A lot of people who come up with their own technology, their own approaches. If you had to stack rank them in terms of miles driven, you'd put Baidu on top. If you had to stack rank them in terms of visibility in the United States, you'd put Waymo on top for sure, and they've done great work. Then there are a bunch of other great companies. Zoox is amazing. WeRide is really interesting. Pony AI is super interesting.
And how many last, though?
I don't know, maybe 4 or 5, something like that. It won't be one. It's too important for it to be one.
Let me ask you a different question, and it's I felt terrible about it yesterday because we had interviewed Dara on the air and had not seen. I think the article had just been published, this piece in the New York Times yesterday about sexual misconduct by drivers, sometimes by riders, and that some of that's being tracked, but different approaches to try to deal with it. Lyft was also in that story, not to the same degree as Uber. I'm curious just what you think, what you thought of that piece, what you think of the problem, and what you think of the solutions, because one of the things in that article suggested that because both you and Uber effectively have drivers that are contractors, there's certain things that you feel that you can't do to control their behavior, and that if they were more under your control, they might be then classified as employees, but maybe would be safer.
Yeah. So the first thing I'd say is it was a heartbreaking article to read. Heartbreaking. And, very, very difficult to read. The problem that you're identifying is a real one, which is to say, the more control we exert over drivers who are contractors, the more it puts the industry at risk for being able to serve its customers. That is a true statement. Having said that, there are things you can do, and there are things we've done. I'll give you an example. We began a product called Women Plus Connect. It was in September of 2023, about 6 months after I joined, something I was very proud of, actually. Since then, over 115 million women have taken rides with other women on the platform, and that dramatically reduces risk. So there are and that was risky, for sure. Our legal department was, had some concerns, so on and so forth. But it is absolutely the right thing to do. So look, as an industry, we have to lead on this. We can't just sort of hide behind it's only a small number, or it's complicated, or it's legally complicated. We have to lead. There may be some consequences. Those consequences may be slightly painful for us from time to time. But you know what? They're not going to be. They're not going to be bad because they're going to be good for riders and good for drivers.
Do you think that it could be worth changing the model even from a safety perspective. Meaning, one of the things you kept reading in this piece was that the business, in Uber's case, but I imagine it may be your case too, decided, look, we can't put cameras in the car, for example, because if we force cameras in the car, then all of a sudden these municipalities are going to say, these guys are employees of yours, and it's going to change the business model, which means that profit over purpose, right? Like that's what's going on here. I mean, that was at least the implication of the article. Do you agree with that?
Well, I agree. That seems to be the conclusion that the other guys came to. I will tell you that, again, it is complicated. I don't want to minimize the complexity, but we now have a program that allows drivers to have cameras in the car. They share footage with us all the time. We've got a program that allows you to PIN verify when you get in the car. We've got a program that allows you to get one-click access to ADT. We've got a program that allows you to share your location with other people. We've got a program to allow you to choose another woman. So, look, there are things that are complicated. It is true. And this is, let's be honest, and remember, zoom out for a second, it's still a new industry. This is crazy. Rideshare, it's been around for a decade. It sounds like forever. A decade ago, it was nothing. And still, people are trying to figure out, how does this thing work? It is a legitimate industry that millions of people use to make money on and to use every single day. And I hope we can collectively move forward. But I found the article absolutely heartbreaking, and just leave it.